What's up, my people? Here is Dead Drop Wrestling, and today we're bringing you a review of the latest episode of Smackdown. Make sure you hit that like button on this video, and we can get started. Let's go. First of all, we start with the entrance of the new WWE champion, Sami Zayn. He immediately talks about how his reaction is truly moved by the fact that he finally won the title. But he still doesn't understand why those same people booed him for 6 months for everything he did, while 3 years ago, they went crazy for him. So all of you who turn your noses up at him can kiss his ass. From day one, he promised he would win this championship. People said he wasn't champion material, but he just wants to say, kiss my ass, all of you. And today, everyone celebrates the fact that he finally became champion. He achieved, in essence, everything you could dream of within WWE, and no one can take his golden trophy away. And then, he's interrupted by the former champion, Cody Rhodes. He says that Sami was the first one to support Rhodes in the ring when he won his title. That's why he came here for this. And after that, he immediately tries to leave. But Sami stops him and says, come on, take off the mask. You're not like this. You really don't just want to come out and congratulate. You clearly have other thoughts. So tell me about them. And then they're interrupted by the entrance of the amazing Jey Uso. He first hugs Sami tightly and respects him. You definitely earned this, but you understand why I'm here. I came to bring the title back to the family. Then Rhodes jumps in, saying we must not forget what year it is. Sami says, stop arguing. You had your moments, but now this is fully his time. Whether you're my father or brother, it doesn't matter. This title stays with him, and he walks off. At this moment, Adam Pearce comes out, saying he's the manager here today, and he says he wants to book a match. Not at SummerSlam, but on the next episode of Raw. And today, there will be a match between Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes to determine who will be his opponent. And that wraps up this segment. Behind the scenes, Kathy Kelly asks Charlotte Flair why she interfered in the match at the big event. She says that Jade Cargill had been interfering in her life, and so she had to get revenge. Alexa Bliss approaches and says, why didn't you tell me you were going to Saudi Arabia? And why were you even hanging out with Tiffany? There's tension, which is broken up by Sima Stratton and Chelsea Green. Meanwhile, we move to the first match of the show. After nearly half an hour, here we have a big women's tag match. Charlotte Flair, Tiffany Stratton, and Chelsea Green against Jade Cargill, Mitchin, and B-Fab. A classic tag match for a holiday SmackDown. By the way, the episode was taped earlier because today in the US, they celebrate Independence Day. So the wrestlers got a break. I didn't expect a long match, but it all just felt like it was moving really fast. I get that the show is now shorter and we have to adapt, but I'm not used to it yet. I do want to highlight Chelsea Green. Her reaction was fantastic, but even she fell to Cargill and lost after her finisher. So the Bad Girls won today. They show us backstage a confrontation in Night of Champions between Nick Aldis and Gunther. They argued strongly. The manager has taken a day off, and soon we'll see what that leads to. By the way, Pearce meets Sami Zayn backstage, saying he can't treat him like this. The manager says you're a great champion, and you need to prove you're the best of the best. Sami gets angry, but then he runs into Gargano, who lifts his mood, because he's also a person who helped him become champion. He asks Candice to take a picture with him for memory. And now we move to a match that should show us why wrestling in AAA really deserves attention. Here we have Rey Fenix defending the Cruiserweight Championship against El Hijo del Vikingo. Yes, the same guy, my buddy from Qatar. As far as I remember, this is his first match on the weekly show in the main roster, which I can only congratulate him on. Sadly, the fans didn't really connect with him yet, but I think if they bring him out more, he'll become one of the top favorites. Today, they delivered a solid match, but honestly, I preferred their clash at the big show in Mexico. There, they really lit it up. And here, in a pretty short time, they got up to speed and had the fans watching stand. In any case, it's nearing the end. So today, Rey Fenix gathered himself and was able to retain the Cruiserweight title, which we congratulate him on. More of these kinds of showcases on SmackDown, not just Mr. Iguana. Backstage, Julia says she couldn't celebrate her win last week because of the attack by Blake Monroe. She doesn't really care that she was attacked, it's just that if it happens again, there will be consequences. Then Kiana James approaches, but at that moment, Monroe attacks both of them, once again reminding everyone that she's the best of the best. We're shown a graphic for the match between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Cool and stylish, and I like that. Backstage, Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu are there, and Royce Keys tries to say something, but the Samoans continue talking about family. It turns out that now Royce is no longer part of the family to Fatu. Just like that, people change quickly. Meanwhile, on the ring, the U.S. champion Trick Williams comes out. But he doesn't get to say anything because Carmelo Hayes interrupts right away. He says the feud with Ricky Saints is over, and so they can get back to their business. Trick is incredible, and right now he stays at the top because Melo didn't come here to tame him. This title is for someone who will proudly carry it. And if you don't agree, then put the title on the line. Lil Yachty's ready with the answer. He's not fully on board with having the match today, and especially not for the title. This chance has to be earned. Next week, they'll have a match, and if Carmelo wins, he'll get the title shot. And in the end, Trick slacked the poor guy, then left the ring.
Hayes went for Williams, but it didn't go any further today. Danhausen backstage keeps messing with Kit Wilson and Miz. Matt Cardona also shows up, and he says he'll have a match against JD McDonough at the upcoming big show. Ryder flips some switch, and the guys start shaking it. Maybe they got brain swapped, but we don't know for sure yet. Lainey Reed. Some might ask, who is she? She's a lady who's part of Fatal Influence. Finally, we know her name, though I probably will remember it. Still, it's not that important because her opponent is the women's tag champion, Brie Bella. I like that they don't just assign title matches, but actually put some work into them to make them mean something. Honestly, the match was pretty standard, and I'll be honest, it didn't really surprise me, except for some decent moves from the ladies. Lainey Reed also got a big win after a small scuffle outside the ring. Backstage, there's a hot dog eating contest, and R-Truth clearly wins it. The Viking Raiders come up asking when they'll have their match. Priest says it will be on Smackdown for sure, just not clear when. And Truth says they'll take those masks from the Mexican representatives. Backstage, we have Cody Rhodes, and he's met by Finn Balor. Balor says he came to the Blue Brand to face Rhodes for the WWE title, so let's get to work. But before Rhodes can respond, Tama Tonga jumps in, and from behind he attacks Balor, saying they're independent now and no one should stand in their way. And now we've quickly reached the main event, where we have a match for the #1 contender spot for the WWE title. Cody Rhodes faces off against Jey Uso. They've had matches before, they used to be friends, but now everything has changed. I didn't expect much from this match, so I watched it with just a neutral feeling. I didn't want either of them to win. Let's get some fresh faces in the title picture. Right now, it feels depressing. At some point, they tried to make us believe Jey could win because he kicked out of Crossroads, but I couldn't believe it for a second. In the end, Cody hit his finisher again and won the match. I have to say, Jey takes that move really well, so it softened the blow a bit. So now we will happen on the next episode of Raw.
And that wraps up the show for today. We've got a lot to look forward to next week, and I'm really excited to see how things unfold in this new chapter. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.